Adabox 16. Pixel Show. It's just a blink to the left, and then a sparkle to the right. This Halloween, we're going to glam it up and shine brighter than ever. In this Adabox, we'll give you 2,000 plus rainbow pixels to customize for the ultimate expressive display. With a bit of a mind flip, make a mesmerizing digital sandbox or huge spooky eyes for your windowsill. Space out on sensation. Playing your favorite animated GIFs or the latest tweets. Nothing can ever be the same. Once you have a matrix portal and a 64 by 32 RGB matrix display, this Wi-Fi connectable display is like a little bit of Times Square brought into your home. A huge thank you to DigiKey for going above and beyond to help support Adafruit over the last few months. DigiKey's support made this box possible, and we are so excited to see what you build. So, come on up to the Adabox lab and see what's on the slab. I see you shiver with anticipation. Adabox 16. Pixel Show.
Hello. You've arrived on a rather special night. You see, it's one of Adafruit's affairs. I'm John Park, and this is the Adabox 16 unboxing. We at Adafruit would like to welcome you to this Halloween unboxing. If you're a subscriber, then you probably have your box by now and can join us. I think you'd better step inside. Now, if you're not a subscriber, you should probably go subscribe so you can get Adabox 17. Oh, one more thing. We would like to extend a thank you to DigiKey for making this Adabox possible. Oh, now won't you please join me while we prepare to unbox Adabox 16. This Adabox is our own Pixel Show double feature of the Matrix Portal and the RGB display. Oh, you have joined me for the next step in the process. Perfect. This is Adabox 16. Now, you may have noticed that it's a larger box than usual. In fact, this Adabox, the contents were so large we couldn't fit it into our typical little puny box. So instead, we went to the next size up. Well, shall we peer inside? First we see the beautiful little content sheet. This tells us everything we need to know about the pixel show. We have, yes, we have the contents laid out so nicely with descriptions. There are links that you can go to for information on the Learn Guides, as well as the forums to discuss Adabox 16. And there's also a coupon code. Very lovely. Well, now what I'll do is remove the contents of the box and then tidy things up a little bit, and we'll have a look. What's in the box, you ask? Well, first of all, this lovely is our lead in this show. This is the Adafruit Matrix Portal. The Adafruit Matrix Portal. One moment. Is this beauty. It's a Cortex M4 at SAMD 51 based microcontroller that is designed expressly to drive LED RGB matrices. It has an ESP32 built on board to act as a Wi-Fi co-processor so you can get online. Oh look, lovely little DigiKey logo right there. Now, we'll talk a little more in detail about this beauty in a little while, but shall we continue? Next up we have something to plug the Matrix Portal into. Talk about the wires. Don't fear. Here we are. This is a 4mm pitch, 64 by 32 pixel display. Has full beautiful color, lots of LEDs, and a place to plug in our Matrix Portal, as well as power. In order to supply power, we will use this 5-volt power supply with a USB micro cable on one end, but as we'll discuss later, our Matrix Portal has a newfangled USB-C connector on it, and hence the master has supplied an adapter that will allow us to take our USB micro cable and adapt it to USB-C, like so. What else comes in that little bag? I bet that's what you're wondering. Well, be patient. M3 screws. We'll use some of these to supply power to the display using these terminal connectors on this power cable. More about that in a bit. And we can also use some of the extras in these little threaded inserts that surround the perimeter of the display in order to mount it on something. Now, speaking of the display, one thing we have realized is that light-emitting diodes can be bright, and difficult to discern without some sort of diffusion. So we include LED diffusion acrylic. We'll demonstrate this in a little bit. In order to adhere the plastic to the display, we have supplied some little adhesive squares. They're peel and stick. Perhaps there will be a demonstration. Speaking of display, perhaps you'd like to show off your fine matrix portal. Well, we've got you covered with this little wire stand. It's adjustable. And it'll allow us to place the entire contraption at a jaunty angle. There are also a couple of little safety-related bonuses in this Adabox. We have a mask. You can see this is made in what's called Adafruit Black. It contains a pocket for putting extra filtration, should you desire to do so, and elastic ear thingies with little adjusty duty bobs. Some of you may find that you desire additional comfort when wearing your mask, and thus we have supplied a silicone ear saver that can slip into the mask bands and give you some relief on the back of your noggin. It's time again to tidy up a little bit, and then we'll talk about some specifics of our matrix portal. Let me bring it in real close, will you? Thanks. Ooh, yes. The matrix portal, microcontroller designed for driving matrix displays, that's running a powerful ATSAMD51 processor, which can easily drive RGB matrix displays while still doing a whole lot more. It can reach the internet over Wi-Fi for all of your communications projects, has a built-in accelerometer and a pair of buttons for interactivity labeled up and down. You can use them for anything, I suppose. It also has a reset button that's easily accessible. This here is our ESP32 coprocessor that handles all of the interneting. And check it out, there's our very modern USB-C connector. We also have a little tiny baby little I2C connector in cute Stemma QT form that allows us to connect easily with a simple cable to other sensors and add-on boards, very modular in fashion. We also have a 3-pin connector that can be used for things like audio or driving some NeoPixels or a servo motor. And all of these GPIO pins are broken out down here at the bottom, so you can get really fancy. This contains the LIS 3DH accelerometer, which is used for both motion detection for orientation as well as tap detection. And it is made for 64 by 32 pixel displays, but there is an address E line jumper for using a massive 64 by 64 pixel display. Also built onto it are indicator neopixels and power LEDs so that you know what's going on. You can see here we have a 2 by 10 socket connector, which is going to fit precisely into the socket on the back of your matrix display. And you'll be quite pleased to know that the matrix portal runs beautifully in both Arduino and CircuitPython. Now it's time for assembly. So let's take our lovely little matrix portal and prepare it for assembly. First of all, I'm going to use a little pokey thingy in order to remove these little Kapton tape stickers that you'll see here. You can push them out from the back or just peel them off with a fingernail. Those are insulating, so things won't work if you leave them on. Now, next step, we'll take the power cord that's going to supply power to the display, and we'll connect its little terminal lugs to the matrix portal. So for this, we'll select 2 of our M3 screws and get a Phillips screwdriver. You'll notice the black wire goes to ground, while the red wire goes to the 5-volt. I'm going to pre-screw the screw in a little bit. Tenacious on both sides. And then slip the appropriate terminal. I almost got it wrong there. So black will go onto the ground. Red will go on to 5-volt. Like so. Next, let's bring the display itself into play. We'll take this display and prepare it for use with our diffusing acrylic. So let's peel off the paper that protects that acrylic from scratching. Next, we'll want to adhere at least 4, but even better 6, of our adhesive squares to the shiny side of the acrylic in the corners. You'll see these peel off neatly, and there's a little section of the protective paper that's easy to grab even after this has been placed down. So you can grab that little end and peel that off, like so. Now I'm going to go ahead and repeat this process. Let's do a time lapse again. Now we can flip the board over, being careful to blow off any larger pieces of dust. You won't see them, but you'll know they're there. And now we can line this up with the display. And press it down in the corners. The nice thing about these adhesive squares is that they're a little bit squishy. And so they comply to the surface. The next step is to connect our matrix portal to the socket on the back side of the board. Now you'll notice the display has an arrow pointing up. That's the up side, and you want to place the matrix portal into that connector with the edge of the matrix portal hanging off the edge. It may seem counterintuitive, but it is meant to hang off the edge so you can access the buttons. Now, we can take either one of these little ends, they're the same, doesn't matter. Plug that into this Molex connector. The little tabby thingy will be at the top. Plug in like so. And there you have it. The board and panel are prepared. Well, I suppose it's time to plug in power to the device, so we'll take our USB power supply, unwrap the little stick. Unwrap the little wire. Easy. Now plug this in to an AC outlet. Add the little micro USB, this thing is so tiny, how can anyone see it, connector to the end. There we go. And now we'll plug this in. And thus plays the default demo. Thank you, DigiKey. Hello, Adafruit. Presents Adabox 16 Pixel Show. Would you like to see more? A demonstration of animated eyes. Spooky werewolf. This werewolf one, you can see this in a vertical orientation. And currently it is connecting to the internet so that it may find out some important information about the moon and its phases and the time. Now the important information about the moon and the time has arrived, and I'd like to show you another demonstration of the power of Adafruit I/O Time Server. This project will go to the internet to find out the time and use that information to tell us how many days, hours, and minutes it is until that most important of holidays, Halloween. Well, this is a great time to recap everything that's come in Adabox 16. We have, of course, the matrix portal, the 64 by 32 LED matrix display, M3 screws for affixing, the 5-volt 2.4 amp power adapter, along with USB-C adapter, bent wire stand, protective mask, ear saver, adhesive squares, diffusion acrylic. Well, I suppose that concludes the unboxing of our Adabox 16. I hope you've rather enjoyed yourself, and you can then go check out some of the Learn Guide tutorials and launch off on many exciting projects. In fact, why don't we take a look in the live segment of our unboxing at some of those very tutorials. For Adafruit Industries, I am Gif and this has been the Adabox 16 unboxing.
Adabox 16 Pixel Show.
Thank you, GIFPath. Hello, you. I welcome you to the workshop, and I think it's time for us to look at a few additional projects, as well as some of these Learn Guides we have prepared for you. So, first of all, let's say hello to everyone in Discord. If you didn't know, Discord is where the chat is happening, and I really love to check in with everyone there to make sure that they're having a good time. Ah, yes, it looks like you all are. Well, I'll tell you what. I think since I'm here, let's have a look at some of the Learn Guides that we've prepared, and then I'll show you a couple of extra projects. So, if you don't mind, take a look at this. If you head to Adafruit Learn / Adafruit Adabox 16 or some URL like that, you will see our lovely introduction to the projects, as well as a little unboxing that will talk about all of the things we just checked out. Then, I've seen some questions on the Discord during GIFPath's segment about the demo that ships on the Matrix portal, and in fact, that's it right there. So if you want to re-download that, head to the Learn Guide, it'll tell you how. Next we have the Matrix portal Learn Guide itself, lots of great details there. And then we get into the bulk of the projects. So rapid fire style, check this out. We have Matrix Portal Creature Eyes. In fact, I've got a demo of one running over here. And one thing you may be interested to know is that you can run these on different size portals. So this is a little baby one. The Matrix portal will drive them all. Ooh, I just yanked the power out. Sorry, darling. So that's a great one to check out. And you can customize that one too, as well as use some of the prepared eyes that are on it. Let's see what's next. Halloween countdown display, that's coming soon. Don't believe what you see here. This isn't accurate anymore, but fire up your own now that you have a Matrix portal. The Tombstone matrix portal, very clever use by those boys, the Ruiz brothers, on using animojis to create facial life. Or is it death? I don't know. The moon phase clock. Check out that werewolf. I've got one right up there. This is a really cool little game-playing aid, if you will, that allows you to score games using Adafruit I/O on the portal. We have a clock, just a basic clock. I love it. Custom scrolling quote board matrix display. Now, this one I want to show you. We've actually just whipped up a new demo for this one. So I'm going to head back over to my workbench. And check this out. Now we have double matrix display running on a single matrix portal. Let's see what it loads up next. So this is running off of Adafruit I/O. Ooh, so come on up to this sounds familiar, lab, and see what's on the slab. Let me go to the overhead for a second. Check this out. You'll see that the power cable that you screw into the back of the matrix portal has these two ends, and that's so we can power the second display. You'll also notice the box came with an IDC cable that can be used to send the data from one to the next, to chain these together. And that way you get a lovely little display. I just quickly milled out a couple of pieces of plastic there so that we could join them up and they'd stay nice together. A single sheet of acrylic would be even better, but I think it looks absolutely delightful. What's next? Let's see. Learn guide, learn guide, learn guide. There's so many of them. I just learned a new shortcut, Control-Tab. I need that. There we have the RGB Matrix Automatic YouTube on-air sign. We have the handbag, which puts a display in the back of a backpack. This one says vote, so go do it. Go vote if you haven't. Matrix weather display, of course. Bitcoin value, grabs the values off of that internet, tells you how much you've made or lost. The air quality index, very important. IoT Twitter listener party parrot, very cool. Running on a 64 by 64 pixel one there. We have bitmap pixel art as well as sprite sheet animation. And we have the proto matter, which tells you all about how to do some very fancy things on your matrix portal with lots of animation. What's this one? Correction of images. You'll notice these lips back here. I made a little sprite sheet animation of some lips saying something or other, and that was gamma corrected before I put it on the display so that it looks nice and brilliant. Phil B will be very happy I did that, I'm going to assure you. Creating matrix portal projects by Melissa. Lots of details on the innards. These little matrix portal sand handles, 3D printed by those Ruiz brothers again. Very cool. And Jeff made this one, RGB LED matrices with CircuitPython, and has a great slot machine demo. And is that it? I'm going to make sure I've checked off all the boxes here. Yes, yes. I think that's it. I think we've hit them all. And more projects are coming. There's a Gif Animation guide. I think I put it in here, but I'm not seeing it right now. So you can play straight up GIFs. You don't have to make your sprite sheets. That's a new achievement for us. We like to put GIFs on everything, every project, really. And let's see, what else? Any questions? I'm going to check the Discord. Hello, Discord. Let me put on my glasses so I can see the Discord. Yes, well, good discussions going on there. No questions I can answer, just lots of accolades for what Adafruit's doing. But we thank you, and we thank DigiKey for making this Adabox possible. Thank you all so much. Thank you for tuning in. And is that the last of them? I think those are all the projects I wanted to show. New projects. Oh, one more. You might have seen this one before, and I haven't gotten a guide up yet for it. I apologize, but this is my skull for the Windows. Let me plug it in. It's important to have lots of power strips. And this is a portal hidden behind a piece of cardboard with a little servo motor that's running. And that will give you a very nice display in your window. So if you place this in a window of your house and then backlight it, it silhouettes it, looks very cool, and has these creepy, spooky eyes and the occasional jaw movements. So that's one to look for. It'll be coming soon. I promise you that. All right, well, thank you again so much for stopping by. This has been our little Rocky Horror Pixel show, and we will be putting out a new Adabox in December, so go right now and sign up for Adabox 17. I bet you can't stand it. And for Adafruit Industries, I'm Frankenfurter. I'm also John Park. This has been the Adabox 16 unboxing. Thank you so much for stopping by. Enchanté.